Doesn't your mind sometimes sound like that? Right? It's monkey mind. It's monkey mind. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. How are you? How are you? Are we live? Is everything working? Hold on a second. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Zitsu Cooter is calling for more cowbell. I don't have a cowbell. What do I got? Do I get cowbell? I don't have a cowbell. I got a... Hey. Yeah. Hey, Mark Scotty reporting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Propaganda in the Morning. Propaganda. Is this propaganda or are we talking about propaganda? Who is the propagandist? Who is the propagandist? I guess we got to put up the question mark. We're going to try to figure out who is full of shit. Is it us or is it them? And if we conclude it's them, who are they? Aren't they we and us? So we're navigating through a very interesting time in history. I think every time in history is pretty interesting. But this is particularly more interesting because you remember back, I guess, when I was a kid, the idea of nuclear war, the bombs that human beings have made to destroy each other or destroy the other, not destroy us, but destroy the other and subsequently destroy us with a equal but opposite reaction, was something rather real when I was a kid. They had fallout shelters and you wondered, right, if we were going to all die in a nuclear war. And for some reason or another, that seemed to have faded. Not the threat, not the actual threat of nuclear war, but the idea that it could possibly happen in the minds of humans faded over time. But it seems now that for whatever reason and from out of nowhere, people are now talking again about the possibility of nuclear annihilation, evaporation of the human species. And it seems obviously the flashpoint is Russia, who has a lot of bombs and weapons and big ones pointing at everybody. And so do we. So what we're going to look at is the propaganda that leads up to what appears to be now World War III. Right? It's just a matter of, look, you've got war. Think about it. Look at it this way. In the Cuban Missile Crisis, right, what Russia did was Russia mobilized nuclear weapons to a place in the world that was off limits to America, but was very, very close. And that place was Cuba. Khrushchev and the other Russian leadership moved their nuclear warheads to Cuba, a.k.a. the Cuban Missile Crisis, and they were 90 miles southeast of Florida, pointing directly at the United States. An attack could not have been stopped at that close range. Right? That was then. What about now? The United States and NATO is engaging in the exact same type of strategy by by setting up nuclear warheads outside of Russia. What do you want Russia to do? America threatened to blow fucking Cuba into the ocean to make Cuba disappear. Right? That was the American solution. So why should we not be afraid of the Russians being pushed into the same situation? America is doing that. Right? Just like Russia lined up bombs in Cuba to kill us, we're lining up bombs along throughout the Baltic Sea and surrounding Russia from every angle, really, from the Arctic, from the top, from the sides, with nuclear weapons. We have more nuclear weapons deployed than any other nation in the world ever, and a lot of them are pointing at Russia. So those are the facts right now. But I guess the point is, if it is, look, historically, humans don't trust other humans. In the Wild West, everybody carried a gun on their side. And you go further, and nations carry guns in the form of military. Right? But at what point, what starts it? What is the spark that causes people to throw very, very large destructive bombs at each other, wiping out, most of humanity? Right? The planet will survive. The planet will survive. If bombs go off and the oceans evaporate and everything, the planet will heal itself without the dirty humans that caused the fucking problem. Right? And then, a million years later, you won't even remember that the humans were here. Unless we blow it so far that we blow the atmosphere, rip the fucking the explosion is so great it knocks Earth out of orbit. Are we capable of doing that? Probably. But these are the what I'm trying to say is, what is the spark? The spark is in one's mind. The spark of propaganda. The spark of humans accusing the other of nefarious activity. We're doing it. They're doing it. Everyone is doing it. Maybe the only people who are not doing it are people on this channel. So we're going to look at some extremely high-end propaganda going on in our world right now, and you make the call yourself, right? That's all I do. I'm the stenographer. You make the call at the end. Are we looking down the barrel of World War III at this moment? You decide. So, Calito Brigante says, fear. Fear also means fuck everything and run. You ever heard that before? Calito Brigante says, we are at war. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Weevil Girl says, ego, patriotism. Yeah. Inside job. I agree. Vinny DiMartini, motherfucker, on the wrench. Don't be a dick in the chat. You won't get chopped out. There's nobody in the box anymore. Just for the record, if you've ever been a dick before on this program, you are no longer in the dick box. You've been removed from the dickery box. So you're welcome to come back, but don't be a dick, and you'll be fine. And everybody else who's lurking, thank you for joining me on this fine program. Those are my thumbnail today. This is a simulation, I think. I stole it from somebody. It's a simulation at Rutgers University of what a world war would look like, a nuclear war. And you notice we're the blue. You notice the blue is everywhere. We totally got everybody surrounded. Russia's surrounded. China's surrounded. We got bombs every fucking place, right? But in this simulation, it looks like Russia starts to eviscerate Europe first, and then we eviscerate Russia while they simultaneously eviscerate us. Right? That's the reaction. That's the chain reaction of nuclear war. And what's interesting about the Strategic Air Command is that it doesn't necessarily point to the Eastern Hemisphere, everything below, like Mexico survives, South America survives, all of Africa survives. You see, Black Lives Matter, right? Nobody's pointing at the bottom part of Africa. They get to live, right? So it kills all the white people. See, black people love this, right? Black propaganda said, yeah, fuck it, man. We'll be dead, but our brothers in Africa will live on and plant the black seed so that black lives will matter, or something like that. But anyway, so that's my thumbnail today. I have a website, when I used to look like this. Now I look like this. Every morning at 9 a.m., wherever we are, wherever you are, we are live. Right now we're on YouTube. We love YouTube. Give a round of applause to YouTube for allowing speech to continue. I know YouTube's under a lot of pressure to shut the fuck up and shut people the fuck up for speaking, but we salute you. We salute you for allowing us to be here. And if that should change, we'll go back to D Live. Sorry, YouTube. But every morning, 9 a.m., just show up here, right on YouTube, if you get your notifications or whatever. You don't need notifications. You need a watch. You need a clock that says 9 a.m. Set your alarm for 9 a.m. and then you're here. And then you click on the button, and it'll take you right to the live video. So I put the videos up on a daily basis. I think right now we're up to what number today? We're up to number 55 in a 100 series of videos that come out the other side somewhere. Marcus in the morning, Marcus in the middle. I don't know what the hell we call ourselves anymore. But Jonte Takray says, Marcus, you're cute as a button. And you know it. I am. Look how cute I am with no teeth. I am cute. I'm beautiful. I am who I am. I accept myself. I accept myself in my entirety. Right? That's the difference between I and other. I accept myself as I am. I breathe in and I know I'm alive. I breathe out. I have no ego, no nothing. But I am cute. And I have beautiful hair. I have beautiful hair. So there you go, man. So what else? Yeah. So I got all these videos up, and you can join me wherever you're watching: Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, DLive, Facebook, Twitter, Getter. We're all here, right? So join us, right? Please join us. Buy a car. Buy an Audi. What is this, Audi? I guess. I don't know. Quickly, very quickly, I wasn't really a big fan, but a lot of people making a big deal about Loretta Lynn. Died at age 90, big country star, Loretta Lynn. I only know Loretta Lynn because Jack White of the White Stripes covered one of her songs. Jolene, Jolene. What's that song? One of his songs. The White Stripes covered one of her songs. But great rock star, great musical legend, Loretta Lynn, dead at age 90. And country music will live on. As we go forward in propaganda, I want you to listen to Thich Nhat Hanh, what he says. And I'll try to, if you don't get what he says, I'll try to explain it. Listen to this. Just listen.
Lunar New Year is coming soon, in a few days.
New Year's.
And millions, hundreds of millions of people will be celebrating New Year, the year of the monkey. The monkey is the mind.
He said monkey in the mind, right? Thich Nhat Hanh is referencing monkey mind. You know, when your mind jumps from place to place to place, non-stop thinking. Right? What do you do about that? What do you do when your mind is jumping from thought to thought? What is there a solution to that? Or is that just your reality and you better suck it up? Well, let's listen to the meditation master tell you the instruction, what to do.
Always.
This is important, man. This is important. If you want to know how to solve and end nuclear war, this is how you do it. It starts on the inside.
The idea is not to force the monkey to stop, but to follow the monkey, to be aware.
Oh my God, he said, don't force the monkey to stop. Don't try and force your mind to stop. It won't stop. Please stop. Right? It's you follow the monkey. Oh, and you let the monkey get tired and fall down. It's brilliant. Listen to it again now that I explained it.
The monkey is in the mind.
Monkey's in the mind. Yeah.
That,
That monkey will start a war. The monkey in the mind starts the war. It's there. That guy's against me, man. What are my people gonna say if I don't bomb fucking Putin? And because he's a motherfucker and he needs to get blown up. And the Russian Putin's monkey mind. Those fucking Americans, man, they're making me look bad. I want to be remembered as an emperor and a king and an expansionist in Russia. That's monkey mind.
the idea is not to force the monkey to stop, but to follow the monkey, to be
And also recognize that the monkey is there.
aware of everything that happens in our thinking.
Yep. So hold that fascinating thought as we skim the news. Aaron Judge. Why do I call him Judd? Aaron Judge has hit 62 home runs in one season. You heard? Let's watch the shot. Bang! Goodbye. So the human endeavor, the power of the human being, a man has hit a home run over the fence 62 times. This shit is crazy, right? Let's watch it again. Bang! All right. What a fucking shot. What a rip. So Aaron Judge hit 62 home runs to break Roger Maris's record. What a record. Now, is it really, I just want to point out quickly and I want to move on. Did Aaron Judge is he really the home run king of the year? The guy who hit more home runs in 1 year? It turns out that he's really not. Because before Aaron Judge did all of this, here he is, great photographs coming out of, he did it away, and the away crowd gave him a standing ovation for what he did. All right, they were in Texas, I guess, Texas Rangers. And there he is, Aaron Judge. Now widely considered the greatest home run hitter of all time. However, you remember this guy, the big black guy, Barry Bonds? Remember this monster? The guy who fucking hit more home runs than anybody? Well, his record has been scrubbed from the record. Not because he's black, but because he did the nasty. He figured out a way to make humans hit the ball farther and faster. Right? Barry Bonds did a little bit. Super talented man. But the fact is, Barry Bonds has already hit 73 home runs in a single season. That already happened. And so did Sammy Sosa. And so did Mark McGwire. Sosa got 66 and Mark McGwire got 70 in the same year that Barry Bonds hit 73. So why are we celebrating Aaron Judge hitting 63? Because he didn't do the needle to make himself better. Now, what does that say about the people that took vaccines to make themselves better? Right? Speculate there. Right? Speculate there. Someone said earlier that this is mental illness in the morning or something. That's not what this is. You got me, man. You got me, man. What it is what monkey mind is all people all humans experience it to some degree. When it's overwhelming, people break down and they kill themselves or they harm somebody else. Like, pushing a button to blow up the fucking world is what I'm saying. So it's not... I don't know what I was trying to say. You got me, though, man. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, here he is. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, what do people think in the chat? Is Aaron Judge the rightful heir of this record at 63, or is Barry Bonds the rightful heir at 73? Regardless of what. Remember, Barry Bonds hit 10 extra home runs more than Aaron Judge. Who holds the fucking record? Is it Aaron Judge or Barry Bonds? I would vote Barry fucking Bonds. Barry Bonds is this guy right here, hit more home runs than everybody. But because of the political correctness of what you can place into your body and what you cannot place into your body, even if you talk about, right, even if you're fucking Barry Bonds, that's Willie Mays, that's Hank Aaron. What a great photograph, right? What a great photograph. Right? So I would say Bonds. Be so hungry, says the white guy. I don't know if he's white. He doesn't even know if he's white. He's Aaron Judge, by the way, is adopted. That's why he has a 4'8" mother, a 4'8" white mother, because he was adopted. So he doesn't really know what he is. He's probably some kind of cool mix of genetics. But hats off to Aaron Judge for hitting the ball over the fence. Look at this, Kanye West. Kanye West calls Black Lives Matter a scam. And he does it with a White Lives Matter shirt. So here is very, 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 very black Kanye West promoting a White Lives Matter shirt at the Paris Fashion Week in France. 45-year-old rapper recently doubled down on his criticism of Black Lives Matter. Everyone knows that Black Lives Matter is a scam, he said. All right. And but look at so this is what he did. He staged he put his models that he paid for wearing these shirts. White Lives Matter. Right? White lives matter, right? Black lives matter. All lives matter, right? But somehow that has become, because you say white lives matter, that means black lives don't matter in the minds of radicalized blacks. You took our phrase and flipped it on us, man. Fuck you. You're racist. Right? And here's the racist. This is Will Smith's kid. Look at him. He looks like you look like a fucking a person of privilege. You've got so much privilege, we can't even count it. Right? But here's the shirts. White Lives Matter. Nice black people wearing White Lives Matter. And look at the rhetoric. Look at the rhetoric. The black racist Smith's kid said, "I had a dip after walking out of West Fashion Show in protest." He continued his criticism. He said, quote, this is a directed at Kanye West for wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. "True leaders lead. I don't care who it is. If I don't feel the message, I'm out. Black Lives Matter. We demand a more progressive future." All right, who's denying progressive future? What are you talking about, right? In your mind, in your monkey mind, you see that. You see it as a threat. Kanye West's decision to wear a White Lives Matter shirt is disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible, says a fucking high-ranking collegiate, right? A professor at Temple. Oh, yeah, he's so smart. Mark Lamont Hill, professor at Temple University, says the shirt, White Lives Matter, is disgusting, dangerous, and irresponsible. What a racist, man. What a gaslit monkey mind motherfucker. Right? Some of you all will rush to defend him. You should ask yourselves why. Why? Because it's just a fashion statement. It's freedom of fucking speech. You remember that? It's fashion, man. If you don't agree, don't look. Look the other way, you racist. Here's a racist, another racist. Kudos to Kanye West for doing what he did, and for exposing the racism that is surrounding Black Lives Matter. And all the money they stole. And I don't want to get into that, but the Kanye West did a good job. So let's go into the deep propaganda. And the markets are open. It looked like the markets were up yesterday. I'm going to go very brief on the markets right now. It looks like we're getting a little bounce off the bottom. And today we're back down. It looks like the NASDAQ is down 114. Dow is pretty much flat. Hold on a second. Down. The NASDAQ is down 234. Apple down $1. Amazon down $1. All right, so we're all red right now in the morning. Red in the morning right now, but it does look like we're finding some degree of support at the bottom, hopefully. So is the bottom in at this point? I was wrong. It ticked down below where I said the bottom would be. Is it going to tick even lower than the low? I don't know. But it is holding. The bounce came off the bottom yesterday. So that's it about the markets right there. I don't want to get too much more into that. All right, so here we go. So war propaganda, war fever is high right now. From out of nowhere, we stopped worrying about the war of the virus, and now we're worried about the dirty Russians blowing us up. You see how mind changes? Suddenly nobody's worried about contracting the deadly virus and getting the vaccine that saves people and makes you better. They're not talking about that anymore. Now they're talking about, and the lead up to it, Putin, the Russians, they hacked the election. They support Trump. They want to kill us, right? They want to, and now we're talking about the Russians are coming, right? Creating that atmosphere, creating the atmosphere for disdain against an enemy that we have decided is our enemy, not our friend, Russia. It's not me doing it. I'm just echoing for whatever reason. So Putin deploys, read the headline. Right? We're going to go through, I'm going to break this down for you, and I'm going to show you how it's not really true. The hysteria is not really true. This story that we're about to read is fake. This is a fake story that has grown legs. You tell me at the end if the story is fake. I'm going to take my coat off for this one because this is important. Right? I'm going to roll up my sleeves too. So Putin deploys world's largest submarine with apocalypse drone capabilities. Okay, well, they have... I don't want to watch. Oh, man, girl got flattened. Putin possibly does have that capability. But let's read the story. A military train that belongs to the forces responsible for Russia's nuclear arsenal has been spotted moving towards the front lines in Ukraine. Okay. Is that what you're saying, New York Times? Who's saying it? Right? While Moscow was said to have deployed the world's biggest submarine capable of carrying apocalyptic drones. Right? Who spotted it? Right? So far, there's no evidence in the story. These latest maneuvers could signal an increasing desperate Vladimir Putin's willingness to escalate the war following a series of embarrassing defeats on the battlefield. There are no defeats on the battlefield. That's also propaganda, including the losses of a key city in Donetsk and the most recent setbacks in Kherson. Not true. Not true. All right, so far we're reading the story of how there's apocalyptic missiles being placed in place to blow everybody up from Russia. Now, would Putin at this point have a reason to do that? Yeah, well, he's surrounded by our nuclear weapons. And he's got the Americans right at his fucking front door. Just like Russia was at the front door of Cuba. The same. The pro-Russian Telegram channel Rybar shared on Sunday a video showing a freight train hauling upgraded armored personal carriers and other sophisticated military equipment through central Russia. The Daily Mail reported. All right. Who cares about what the Daily Mail reported? All right. Here's the photograph. Okay? Now look at the photograph. What do we see? We see a aerial shot of a train. We don't know if it's moving. We don't know when the photograph was taken. And it's alleged that these cars right here have something to do with Putin's nuclear capability. Right? That's what the photograph says. The screenshot from a video, what's the video? Shows a freight train hauling upgraded armored personnel carriers moving through Central Europe towards the front lines. Really? So this is a shot in Central Russia, in their property, in Russia, moving their shit around, maybe. This is what my point is, that this story is not true. Putin deploys, right? Here's another one, right? Russia feared to be planning major nuclear test. Now it's a test with Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is feared to be planning a nuclear test on the border with Ukraine, while officials in Kyiv have already handed out potassium iodine pills to protect against a possible nuclear strike. Great. Now Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna can start manufacturing radiation pills. Do you have your radiation pill when the dirty Russians drop the nuclear bomb on us? Do you? Well, the bad news is that, the good news is that you're not going to need those iodine pills because you're going to be evaporated. You're going to be fucking incinerated. Dead. Right? These bombs of mass destruction are minuscule compared to what we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1942. Right? The atomic bombs. These bombs are way more destructive, way smarter. Right? They blow fucking everything up. And once it goes, if Putin decides to use a nuclear weapon, however small, and he decides to blow up Kyiv because they're a threat to him in Russia, all right, right or wrong, if the United States retaliates with a nuclear weapon, even a small one, just to stop Russia from doing what they're doing, what comes next, nobody knows. Right? They shot at us. No. Yeah, they shot at us, theoretically, Ukraine. We shot back at them. The next move, nobody knows what happens. Right? It could be bye-bye. Right? Because we won't be here talking about it on a Monday at 9 a.m. Right? Everything that we know of in terms of our fixed humanity, all our devices, nothing will work. Everything will be blown to shit. And we will be walking the fucking cities of America and Russia looking for food. That's what happens in nuclear war, if you're still alive. If you didn't have the ability to dig down 200 feet, like the rich people, all there'll be left is rich people trying to eat the dead bodies or something, right? That's the ramification of what we're talking about, right? Right? But that's the scare. But is this true? Is Russia really planning a nuclear test on the border of Ukraine? It does not appear to be true. Okay, flash fear. This is the Americans doing this. Flash fear. Be afraid of Putin. Be afraid of Russia. They have bombs. They're going to blow us up. Well, why don't you get the fuck off of their property, get out of their backyard, already. Stop it. They have the submarine, man. There's a picture, and I tell you, it's real. Where's it all coming from? All right, so who started the story? Who started this? Where's the story coming from? It's coming from Kremlin spokesman refused to discuss. It's coming from this article right here. It all stems, they're all leaning on this article right here, the Times of London. Putin orders nuclear military train to Ukraine. All right? So listen to the propaganda very clearly. Listen to how it works. President Putin is set to demonstrate his willingness to use weapons of mass destruction with a nuclear test on Ukraine's border. NATO is believed to have warned its members. Okay, first of all, NATO is one side of the war. So when NATO says it, nobody said it. Nobody said it. The guy on the other side of the war said it, which is unreliable and probably untrue. It's propaganda. NATO is believed to have warned its members. So that's like, one side warning the other side, I'm going to punch this guy in his face if he doesn't back up. The Kremlin has been signaling its readiness for a significant escalation as Russia loses ground on the battlefield. How many times have we heard this line, Russia loses ground on the battlefield, and upon further investigation, Russia is winning on the battlefield. They've already annexed 4 areas in Ukraine. Fears over Putin's earlier hints that he might resort to such tactics heightened yesterday with claims that a train operated by secretive nuclear divisions was destined for Ukraine. Well, may I ask you, London Times, if the operation is secretive, why would the Russians be doing it out in the fucking open? Right there, your story falls flat. Why would a nuclear power be moving towards nuclear war, and everything military is secretive, but they're showing it to you right out under the satellites where you could see the train pulling out? This right here, my friends, is a fake photo. It could be a real photo, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any markings to indicate that this is what they're saying it is. They're basing the whole fucking scam, the whole threat of nuclear war from Russia on a photograph that is invalid so far. And a lot of propaganda. Here's more. Konrad Mozalka, a Poland-based defense analyst, said the train, spotted in central Russia, was linked to the 12th Main Directorate of the Russian Ministry of Defense, and that it was responsible for nuclear munitions, their storage, maintenance, transport, and issuance of units. So Russia, who has nuclear weapons, also has the ability to move their shit around and maintain it and store it and transport it and issue it, might have moved their shit around at some point in their own property in Russia. But who said it? Who said it? Konrad Muskie, a Poland-based defense analyst. Does this guy even exist? Let's find out. I haven't done this yet. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? He's an independent defense analyst. How much did you motherfuckers pay this guy to say it? How much did you pay him? Right? He doesn't even come up on a legitimate search. We don't even know who this guy is. Here he is. Konrad Muska is an independent defense analyst and the director of Rushan. Where is he living? holds an MBA in Russian studies from the School of Slavic and Eastern. The guy is a nobody. This guy is in the pocket of the dirty Americans, it looks like so far. That's what it looks like. Right? So you see how the story is piled on a pile of shit that the New York Post swallowed. The Times of England is running with. CNN is saying, Putin is lining up nuclear weapons on the border. Based on what? A fake bullshit fucking story by some asshole Poland-based defense analyst who's got his hand out and is filling up his pockets with money. Said the train spotted in central Russia. All right, so you see a train, and maybe he's able to identify the train. But when did it happen? Where exactly is it? Right? Where's a significant marking that tells us that that's what... Give us some kind of information that tells us that that's what's going on. There's nothing here other than a photograph so far. Right? Let's continue. This is called blowing the conspiracy to pieces. Mark Conti reporting. A senior defense source, however, said that a more likely demonstration of Putin's readiness to use nuclear weapons could come in the Black Sea. Further fear. Now watch how the story evolves to nuclear war. Watch. Although they believe such a show of force would be more likely, was not impossible, Putin could fire a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine based on no evidence. He could do that, and the United States could also do it, and so could India, North Korea, Israel, all the countries that have nuclear weapons, right? So watch how it progresses. Watch how the story progresses. If he chooses to do so, he faced a significant risk. Quote, they could misfire the bullets that he shoots at others, accidentally hit a Russian city close to the border with Belgrade. Okay? Now, again, NATO is said to have sent an intelligence report to its members and allies, alerting them to Russia's plans to test its nuclear capability torpedo drone, Poseidon, dubbed as the weapon of the apocalypse. So NATO and its allies, the Americans, which is really just one, also said that Russia blew up the pipeline in the Baltic Sea. Right? And that there's no evidence that supports that idea. In fact, the evidence supports that the Americans did it. Those same people are now saying that Russia is mobilizing its submarine K-329 Belgrade, which is carrying Poseidon, is believed to be heading to the Arctic. There's no evidence of any of this. There's no evidence that even Belgorod even exists. But put up the picture anyway. Look at this horrible, scary fucking image of a nuclear-powered submarine with massive nuclear warheads packed in. A nuclear submarine with an estimated 110 crew members that can literally stay down forever. All they would need is a food supply for the humans. They don't even need to fuel the fucking submarine because it's nuclear powered. It could stay down there infinitely. Even after all the humans are dead, the submarine could still maintain itself below the sea with dead humans and still strike after the fact. Right? That's the scare. Is it real? Is it really there? I don't know. But I will tell you that the Germans were able to get their U-boats, their submarines, 20 miles off the coast of New Jersey, undetected during World War II. So are these things under the water, creeping up towards us to blow us up? What does that have to... Where did it come from? It's monkey mind. You're continuing the ridiculous chain of thought that Putin is testing nuclear weapons. Now he's mobilizing those weapons with no evidence to suggest that that's what's happening. You're making it happen. You're saying that Putin is doing all of this, and what are you doing? You're mobilizing your nuclear forces around him, cornering him with propaganda. What do you think he's going to do? What do you think the cornered, trapped animal is going to do? He's going to strike at some point. Why? Because he sees himself as being dead if he doesn't. That's what we're doing right now. It's propaganda. Where the West is the aggressor, mobilizing its nuclear arsenal around the nuclear power right now, right? And saying, see, they're doing it, so we have to react by doing it, right? Who's the aggressor? Where's the evidence that Putin is actually mobilizing its nuclear warheads to blow up Ukraine? There is none. Where is the evidence that America is lining up its nuclear warheads to blow up Russia? Everywhere. We know exactly where they are. They're all around Russia and the West, right? So anyway, there's the scare. You see how the story about the picture of unidentified a Russian train, a picture of a Russian train, has led to this enormous story of Russia annihilating the world. The Russian-based news outlet reported that the commander of Russia's Western Military District had been dismissed and would be replaced by somebody else. Well, that's not evidence. Look at this. I don't know if it's true or not, but look at this graph that somebody put together. Nuclear threat. Russia and the United States have more than 90% of all nuclear weapons. Look how many weapons are deployed. Right? Look who has deployed nuclear weapons. Meaning that they're in a place where they're right under your fucking front door. According to this report, Russia has 1,500. U.S. has 1,700. Right? France has 280, and United Kingdom, Britain, has 120. Pakistan, India, Israel, North Korea, and China have 0, pointing at people. But they have quite a number of them stored. So if this is accurate, it does tell you who's going to throw the first bomb. It's probably going to be, United States or Russia. As a secondary flash would be France or United Kingdom. Right? If that's true. So again, the propaganda is being unraveled. This is a fake story. Marcus Conte reporting. Putin orders nuclear military train to Ukraine. There's no evidence of that. But all of the West is running with this story, running out of fear that it could be true without bothering to flip open the article that says it. Now, this whole Russian story about the whole submarine story, listen to this. The Russian submarine K-329 Belgorod that we're talking about right now, which carries Poseidon, is believed to be heading to the Arctic, according to Republika newspaper. So here's the fucking fake moron Polish independent defense analyst. Now let's find out who said the other thing. The Republika. Right? Where are they? It's some fucking Italian. It's in Italian? You can't even read it. What garbage, right? Total, unequivocal garbage. Right? It's a fucking garbage story about Poseidon because some nobody newspaper said so. Right? They're nobody. La Le Repubblica newspaper is nobody. It's also NATO. And what do you know? The Italians, again, are banging the drum of war. Who are the Italians going to join? They're going to join the Americans to fight the dirty Russians. You see how the sides are starting to form again, right? Let's listen to this report, and then I'll let you go.
Buses in New Jersey now have signs warning about radiation poisoning. Quote, September is National Preparedness Month. Do you know what to do in a radiation emergency?
I don't.
No, you don't. It doesn't matter.
So you see how the propaganda becomes real, right? You see how the propaganda becomes real. You've got Tucker Carlson, and you're going to see Glenn Greenwald debating nuclear war on Fox News. 500,000 people watched this since yesterday. This is what's going on right now. Tucker Carlson suddenly lifted his head up and said, holy shit, this might be real.
This is all make-believe. This is all play acting. If you live in a big metro area, there's not anything you're going to do during a nuclear exchange because you're going to be dead, along with most other Americans. The overwhelming majority of Americans will be dead. And those who survive will starve to death because all agriculture will be destroyed, along with billions of people around the planet. So it's time to update your assumptions about the technology here. These are not the bombs that flattened Nagasaki. They are incalculably more powerful. You hit New York, you take out Miami. So a nuclear war means not that we get to take out the Black Sea Fleet, it means the end of the world. And people
now he's correct in saying that. I think Tucker Carlson is spot on in identifying the apocalyptic result of, unfettered aggression with superpowers. That it is a probability. It is an increasing probability, especially when you discount the other person as not being willing to do it. Right? When you underestimate the fear and greed of the other guy, right? You may not throw it, but he might throw it first. Right? He might throw the first punch. Why? Because he's cornered.
Who work around this stuff understand it, and they're really afraid. But no one else seems to have any idea. Why is that? Glenn Greenwald has been watching really carefully all of this unfold. His work is on Substack. We're happy to have him join us tonight. Glenn, thanks so much for coming on.
Calito Brigante says, Marcus, your analysis is far more useful than their analysis. All right, well, maybe it is, but I'm just going based on what I'm seeing, right? And we got to listen. You got to listen not if they're correct or not, Tucker Carlson and Glenn Greenwald, but what they're broadcasting, what they believe to be true at this moment, right? Some of it is accurate, and some of it is. It might not be. I don't know.
It seems to me no matter how you feel about Putin, or Ukraine or the justice of the war or anything, the threat, the very real, in-your-face threat of a nuclear exchange right now that they're openly talking about would require the media to start telling people, hey, this is real, but nobody is. And I wonder why that is.
If you look at the history of American wars...
And just for the record, these are two people I have enormous respect for. I enormous respect for Tucker Carlson. He's mostly right. He gets some things wrong like everybody else. And Glenn Greenwald, who I would argue Glenn Greenwald knows more about the details of modern-day war than anybody there is. Right? He lives in Brazil right now with his boyfriend, or his husband. But he is extremely knowledgeable about these types of situations.
Tucker, over the last several decades, they're incredibly similar. The way they convince Americans to support U.S. involvement in a war is they personalize a particular leader, get us to hate that leader. Oh, Saddam Hussein in Iraq is a terrible guy. Bashar al-Assad in Syria is this tyrannical force. Mullah Omar in Afghanistan is somebody we have to go and take out. Gaddafi in Libya, our emotions get up and we say, yeah, we can't, well, let's go take out these tyrants. And then,
he's spot on. He's spot on in what he's saying.
Hundreds of billions of dollars later and lives lost, polls always show that Americans come to realize that they regard those wars as a mistake. And the reason is they realized that no benefits came to the United States and American citizens by virtue of U.S. involvement in those wars. So let's apply that framework here. The consensus in Washington is that we are closer to the use of nuclear weapons than at any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis 60 years ago. There is a very real...
So, right. He's right in saying that. So why is the United States continuing to advance on the enemy, their perceived enemy? I just showed you how the propaganda, how the threat of Russia using nuclear weapons, at least in that case, is totally fabricated, right? There is no threat of Russia using nuclear weapons unless you corner them, unless you trap them into a position that they have to use them to get you off their fucking, off their lawn. Damn it.
Threat of a nuclear exchange or even a direct confrontation with Russia and the United States. And over what? Over who governs and rules not even Ukraine, but the Donbass, the eastern region in Ukraine, where a majority of people actually identify as ethnic Russians and want to be part of Russia. And yet there's almost no debate over whether we should be sending huge amounts of money there and risking the lives of American citizens through the possibility of a nuclear war, because everyone knows that the minute you step up and step out of line, there's a horde of people ready to call you unpatriotic or a traitor or an admirer of Vladimir Putin, as I know is being done with our very segment right this minute by all those Media Matter people and other people online. So it's a really repressive atmosphere, and it's squashing a debate.
This is where I would disagree with Glenn Greenwald. Oh, they're calling me a Russian bot. They're saying that I'm pro-Putin. Fuck you, man, Glenn. Speak your mind. Don't worry about what the trolls are saying. We know what the trolls are saying. Speak the truth and don't crack under pressure, motherfucker.
That we absolutely have to have.
But we're losing track of reality. If a nation has nuclear weapons and you believe even theoretically they might use them, you have to treat that nation differently. You may not want to, it may be unfair, but that's why nations seek nuclear weapons, because you can't boss them around. If you ignore the possibility that your entire population could be killed, you are not fit for leadership because you're insane. And it feels like our leaders are right there. They're insane.
I think there's almost this sense that has been purposely cultivated to believe that the use of nuclear weapons really isn't a realistic possibility, even though we have had the use of nuclear weapons in the last century when the U.S. did it in Japan for World War II. And we came very close on at least 2 or 3 occasions. The U.S. and Russia did, these very same countries, to exchanging nuclear weapons and risking nuclear annihilation, including in the Cuban Missile Crisis, because the U.S. felt that the Russian presence over the border in Cuba was so threatening that we were going to have a nuclear war over it. That's how Russia sees what's happening in Ukraine right across their border. It is madness.
Right? There's Glenn Greenwald. He makes the point that what Russia did in Cuba is identical to what we're doing to them, right? We're afraid that they're afraid that we're going to blow them up. So they're going to, ultimately at some point, and what. So you see how the pieces fall, right?
To assume that for Russia, what is an existential war, if they actually start losing it or NATO really starts escalating as we've been doing, that the chances of Vladimir Putin using nuclear weapons is 0. This is a dangerous delusion that I think a lot of people are operating under.
That's totally, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Let me just ask you, since you were in Brazil, we spoke